your day as well.
Do you now? Do you honestly hope that my day has been well, Monami? Really, truly, honestly. After everything that's been going on, after the many days upon days of untold struggle and horrors that we have been subjected to, you earnestly wish that my day has gone well so far. You are a deeply confusing individual, and I don't understand what your deal is. Hello, one and all, and welcome back to my Let's Play Danganronpa 2. I am the next of you trades. In the last part, we uncovered the secret of the fun house in an extraordinarily confusing way for me personally. Now that I've had time to think about it and reevaluate everything, it all makes perfect sense, and I feel like a big dum-dum for having so much trouble. The good news is, that was the complicated part, and now that we've got that all figured out, I'm almost 100% positive I know just about everything we're gonna need to know in order to finish this whole thing on. The problem is I don't want to see the ending, because the only person I think could have possibly done this is somebody I desperately would like to have not done this. So, I'm mentally preparing myself. I know it's probably not going to help me in the long run, but I'm still going to try and not let it get me too emotionally devastated once it happens. That is the hope. We shall see if that works. I kinda doubt it, but I'm steeled. I'm prepared.
I'm trying to force myself to be more energetic, or else my mental state won't be able to keep up.
Alright, admittedly, while your first statement was absolutely ridiculously stupid, I can fully admit, yeah, no, that's basically what I'm doing too. I need to be energetic and peppy and happy. Ha 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 hee hee hoo hoo, I'm an entertainer, what have you. I'm not going to cry by the end of this, no.
My heart's thumping like crazy.
You've yet to prove you have one of those.
I might as well have a laid-back, so what attitude and go ahead with high energy.
Those are contradicting lifestyles.
Yeehaw! Ah, but be careful that your batteries don't run out for various reasons.
Okay. I had so many things I could conceivably say about that sentence. I just said absolutely nothing. So, thank you for that. I had an embarrassment of riches, and I ended up using none of them.
And just like I say each time, don't forget to save frequently.
Every chance I get, I do. Now leave me be. We gotta do this now. Alright, so, I think I know how it all... I mean, I guess I don't have every conceivable detail worked out, but I have the general broad strokes down. We just have to, you know, reach each one of them.
I never expected the funhouse itself to be the ultimate weapon.
Yeah, honestly, it seems a little bit, like, out there, but, I mean, for, you know, Danganronpa and everything, that's pretty in line.
Oh well, let's just press on ahead.
Fair enough, thank you, Chiaki. She does not let things get to her.
Is it really alright to accept the situation so easily?
Well, I mean, it's either do it and move on, or don't and waste time, so... It doesn't really matter if we can accept the situation. If it's the facts, then we just need to take them and move on.
I mean, that's not what's important. The thing that's really important is the killer who used the building structure. Like, who's Mekumaru's murderer?
I don't want it to be who I think it be!
But is it really okay to believe the building is the weapon? Nagito said it, you know.
I mean, that is a very strong point, but ultimately, the way he described it makes everything make sense now. Considering the previous theories we had about how it could have possibly gone down didn't pan out, this kind of has to be the way it is.
There's no way I'd lie at such an important moment. I don't want to die either.
Oh yeah, again, also if you felt like randomly just clicking halfway through an entire Let's Play to see what's happening in this, right, like, I don't even know how far in, Nagito has suddenly decided that he is completely against all of the things that he was for. He apparently learned something that has completely changed his worldview, and that's mildly worrying.
What happened to the bastard who kept saying how much they didn't mind dying?
Thank you for pointing that out, Fuyuhiko.
He's right. There was a time when I thought I could become a stepping stone for your hopes, but I will sincerely retract that remark.
Okay, I mean, you can do whatever the hell you want. It doesn't really concern us in any regard.
Retract?
It means to take away.
I'm disappointed too, you know. If this was a murder for the sake of hope, I'd happily sacrifice myself.
Well, assuming that this whole thing happened for the exact reason I assume it happened, then I think that it kind of totally was in the sake of hope, actually, which would kind of make this entire situation very bizarrely ironic for you.
You say such falsehoods, per usual. There is no such thing as murder for the sake of hope. Murder is simply murder.
I mean, that is also true. I'm not trying to say that there is a given situation where murder is a 100% A-OK thing to have to do. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's conceivable for people to have better reasons than others at times. None of them are great. I don't like any of them. I'd rather it never happened. But when certain situations, like the one we were currently in, of somebody has to kill somebody or everybody in here dies of starvation, I mean, assuming it was that specific reason, and that's why they did it, then ultimately it was for the sake of others. So, still awful and terrible, and I hate it, but I understand why.
Forcibly sacrificing others for one's own desires. Even one as diabolical as I would avoid such actions.
You see, now it's really convenient that you're also saying that, and I'm not happy about it.
I see.
Yeah, okay, I bet you do.
It's fine. Let's just leave him alone and find out who killed Coach Nekomaru as fast as we can.
Are we on super speed mode?
Just so you know, it's not like I'm getting hungry or anything, you know.
Well, considering the fact that all you had was some bean bread, I can't imagine that was really enough to, you know, make up for the fact that nobody ate anything for 2 days.
Akane, you were drooling waterfalls?
It's kind of her thing. Don't question it. It's just how she is. Nagito, as usual, I can't tell what he's thinking. I have no idea if he's serious or not. But really, the important factor is, it doesn't matter what he thinks, says, or does right now. It has nothing to do with anything.
Anyway, if the killer used the building structure, why don't we think about how they used it?
All right, I think I actually have a pretty good theory.
How they killed Nekomaru.
I laid the whole thing out last time, so let's see if it's actually the truth.
It might be better if we clarify the cause of death first, don't you think?
Yee. Okay, Nekomaru's cause of death, huh? He was horribly damaged, as if he was beaten senseless with a blunt object. But if he was beaten with a blunt object, it wouldn't be a kill that utilized the building structure. So, the only way that both of those things could be true at the same time would be, yes, I dare say I might be onto something.
I see.
Give me some health points back. Thank you.
That's it. I think he might have died from falling.
It would explain the cord. He got strung up.
Died from falling?
Yes, as in he fell from a great height and hit his noggin.
If the funhouse's secret is that it's a structure where both towers and houses are vertically connected, then the killer made use of its height and caused Nekomaru to die from falling.
Makes sense.
Are you saying they pushed him off? Where'd they push him off from?
That I am not saying, although admittedly, fair enough.
That I don't know yet.
Yeah, okay, fair.
Don't just make things up when you don't know the method.
I'm not making things up, I'm just piecing it together bit by bit as I go along.
Where in that building would you even be able to push someone off in the first place?
I never said there was a pushing.
It might be possible in the tower.
Akane!
You could push him off the 4th floor when the elevator is on the 1st floor.
I mean, theoretically, technically, the way that the whole building structure works and how the elevator works, that wouldn't work, but you're on the right track, and I appreciate it.
Did you forget how the elevator functions? When it's on the first floor, the door on the 4th floor won't open.
Yeah. Oh! Okay, I was trying to think. It was like, okay, so if he got, like, tied, I was wondering how, what he could have possibly have been tied on to, because there was nothing, like, hanging from the walls for that to work. Then I remembered the busted doorknob. That's probably what he was tied to. Then the elevator went down, he stayed up there. I'm not 100% sure what caused him to fall. You'd think he'd just stay stuck up there, but, I think I'm onto something.
Saying he died from falling is truly incorrect. You should burn in the flames of hell.
If I'm incorrect, then I fully accept that fate. But seeing as how I don't think I'm going down the wrong path, I'm gonna have to disagree for once there, Gundam.
But my gut is going crazy right now.
And personally, I find her gut to be remarkably effective. It's been right more than it's been wrong. If Nekomaru died from falling, where did the killer shove Nekomaru from? He didn't. If I'm going to reach the truth behind this incident, I need to solve that mystery next. Oh boy, here we go. All right. What are my bullets? What am I shooting? Goodnight button, Akane's account, Fuyahiko's account, contact elevator, Something about a clock's alarm timer, a broken doorknob. Okay, well, these are all things I can see working.
When the elevator is on the first floor,
Yee.
you can't go through the door on the fourth floor.
Right, right.
It'd be impossible to shove off the victim from up there.
Yes, I believe so.
How about this?
Okay,
After locking Nekomaru inside the elevator,
I'm listening.
they moved the elevator from the fourth floor to the first floor and made use of the drop.
That would make sense, yeah.
Hold on. Did you forget the elevator has a sensor? As long as there's a moving object inside, the other door won't open.
Oh, I think I get it. I think I get it. Ah,
Which
damn
means
it.
the elevator wouldn't have moved either.
I aim so poorly with this thing.
Must be the threshold of that elevator.
I do so poorly at aiming at the white noise, the time I make up when I shoot those things doesn't make up for the time I waste by accidentally clicking on the wrong thing. I shouldn't even bother. Anyway, okay, I know exactly how this works. A moving object. So the object just needs to be not moving. That would, yeah, okay, get you. Because as long as there was somebody in there and they were moving and alive and doing their thing, then the elevator wouldn't move at all. But, yep, I got it. All right, let's go.
When the elevator is on the, you can't go through the door. It'd be impossible to shove.
I know what to do.
They move the elevator and
Made use of the drop.
I agree with everything,
Hold on.
except...
Did you forget the elevator has a sensor?
Yes, I do. I
As
remember.
long as there's a moving object.
Well, what if there isn't a moving object inside? Ding dong, you are wrong.
That sensor should only work if something is moving.
Okay, well, actually, you're not wrong. I'm just kind of putting a point on it.
If Nekomaru wasn't moving inside, the elevator sensor wouldn't have detected anything.
Luckily, that was like the first bullet in the chamber.
Could it be his sleep mode?
The very same.
When Nekomaru's goodnight button is pressed, all of his functions shut down, and he enters sleep mode.
Yee yee.
If he's in sleep mode, the elevator sensor wouldn't have noticed it, right?
I assume if it's anything like the sleep mode of a computer, it's basically turned off in all capacity.
I see. So that's how...
However, even if they moved the elevator in that manner, Nekomaru would have just moved along with it.
Yes, exactly. But here's the thing. I was already 3 steps ahead of alls y'alls. You guys were stuck on this aspect when I was long since past it. Granted, I didn't actually consider that aspect. I completely forgot that, yeah, even with... I forgot that if you're standing in the thing, it won't move if you're... yeah. Anyway...
There would have been no drop for him to fall and die from. Yes.
If you were correct, then yes, you would be. But you're not. So nah.
That's what I was about to explain before Kazuichi interrupted me.
Rude, Kazuichi.
Silence, pest.
Damn. Sonia's just slapping you down before you even have a chance to say anything.
Now you're calling me a pest?
Hadn't she already done that? Well, if not, she definitely implied it. A way to create the drop inside the elevator while Nekomaru is still in it. Chiaki seems to have an idea, but what could that be? Well, I have a good idea on that one, actually. Okay, so let's see here. Bum-ba-da-bum. Oh, it would be totally the wire. The new-looking hammer, the chain. The chain? No, that's on the door. No. Yeah, the wire. First bullet again. All right.
If you arrange it a certain way,
Yes.
you can cause the drop within the elevator.
I do believe that is true. I
So
agree.
you're telling us all to think about the arrangement, right?
Yeah, that is her implications.
That arrangement is... The hammer is suspicious.
It is, in fact, not. Also, sorry for coughing.
Isn't it about time we went over the pillar again?
Not quite. I don't think so.
Oil on the floor.
Nope. That's not definitely it. Nope.
Doorknob on the floor seems suspicious.
That's because it is! Nah!
I agree with that.
Hell yeah! Teaming with Fuyu! I'm feeling good about it! Also, anytime I say Fuyu, I think of Froyo.
Didn't the doorknob have scrape marks on it?
That it certainly did! Boom! I'm working with the frozen yogurt man!
That might have been where it got scraped by the wire.
Exactly!
Is that the same wire that was tied around Nekomaru?
Which would explain why the thing was there in the first place.
The tip of that wire was tied into a loop. If the elevator moved while that loop part hung from the doorknob,
If they did something like that, he would have been suspended in midair.
And I guess eventually, just through the fact that he's just so freaking heavy, I guess the doorknob would have technically worked. It would have stayed there for a while, but eventually it would have broke. But that seems a little too, I don't know, open to chance, I guess. I feel as if that was almost not work. Because, you would need to time this stuff better.
That's right. He was suspended in midair.
I mean, at the very least, I got that all correct, so that's good. Aha, yes, indeed.
Of Nekomaru with the wire while he was in sleep mode. Tied the tip of the wire into a knot, and hung it on the doorknob to the 4th floor.
Makes sense to me.
With that, they moved the elevator from the 4th floor to the 1st floor of Grape Tower. Once
again, I really need to just throw this out here. As much as I dislike the fact that I can respect the amount of effort and detail that went into a murder plot, I just straight up gotta. This is so freakishly detailed, and almost every aspect of it is covered so perfectly that honestly, it's almost obscene and unrealistic how well it came together. The fact that I'm unraveling it really comes down purely due to game mechanics and the fact that ultimately you have to be able to win the game. Other than that, I don't know if anybody in real life would have been able to put all this together. Granted, I know because it's outlandish for the sake of reality and whatnot. We're arguing about the fact, about who killed a man who got turned into a robot. But you get what I mean. Oh.
And suspended Nekomaru in midair.
He has no idea what's even coming. That is really depressing. Why does he have a snot bubble? He's a robot.
That's right! He was so well hung! Kinda like...
Literally anybody interrupt him. I don't care. I'm giving anybody a free pass to say anything right now.
You better not finish that sentence.
That works for me. Please don't, and we're all good. Okay, I don't think he did.
The killer took advantage of the unique feature. Only the floor moves. By doing that, they created a drop so Nekomaru could fall to his death.
Yee!
Too easy.
Excuse me, one more? Okay, I'm listening.
What if they created a drop? There's no way you can make him fall and die with just that.
Why not?
Why?
Yeah, I feel like that would totally work.
If Nekomaru is suspended in midair like that, then how do you get him to fall?
Well, I just kind of assumed that the doorknob would fall off over time.
Because if he's suspended in midair, he won't die if he doesn't actually fall.
Okay, admittedly, this is actually a pretty good point to bring up. I'm willing to admit that. It's such a good point, I don't entirely understand what I need to do in order to counter it exactly. Oh, actually, no, hang on. Thank God they give you these things and you don't have to sort through all of them.
Even
That's
if they
how.
suspended Nekomaru, how would they make him fall? There's no
Okay,
way
there we
in the
go.
tower to push him off. There's no
There we
way
go.
They could do that.
I'm doing it properly this time. I will not be made a fool of.
It doesn't mean someone had to push him off. It's possible that he fell on his own.
The Sword of Peko.
What? Nekomaru should have still been in sleep mode, right?
Right? What?
Allow me to cut
Huh?
through those words.
Hell yeah! That is in the name of Pekoyama.
What do you think would happen if Nekomaru woke up while he was suspended upside down in midair?
I imagine he'd have a grade A
What
freakout.
are you saying? Like, how would he even wake up?
He himself said that there was a way to
He has
do
an
it.
alarm inside his body. As long as it was armed, it would have deactivated his sleep mode.
Exactamundo. That's how you properly timed it. That actually completely clears up the one thing I didn't understand about all this.
Which means the
Well, there's a
killer
few
set
more,
the
but you know what I
alarm
mean.
Before they suspended Nekomaru.
If you woke up from an alarm and realized you were hanging upside down and had no clue why,
You'd probably, at the very bare minimum, start shimmy shaking.
if something like that happened to you, you would start panicking a lot, right?
I mean, I certainly feel like I probably would.
Your body would start moving, Nekomaru probably did exactly that.
Stands to reason. And then again, at that point, if you were freaking out, I thought the doorknob got completely ripped off the hinge, though. Odd. You'd think it would have just slipped off. In fact, the fact that it stayed on and didn't get pulled down at all, I guess because it's a fake doorknob, that's why it's not, like, actually fake, like, opening. Okay, that sort of makes sense. Still, how heavy has he got to
In order
be?
to make it fall from the force he was generating, the wire was hung on the tip of the doorknob so it would easily slip off.
Then what broke it off?
In actuality, the scrape marks caused by the wire were near the tip of the doorknob, right?
Wait, did one doorknob get ripped off and the other get scraped up and I'm fusing them together? You know, it ultimately doesn't matter. Let's just drop the whole thing unless it comes up again.
Nekomaru didn't fall because the wire came off, right?
He fell because the entire doorknob came off.
Okay, never mind. There it is. Quit squeezing on me brain, Danganronpa.
He must have struggled much more than expected, which caused the doorknob to break off.
Was that
Impressive.
unexpected for the killer too?
I feel like it doesn't really matter. As long as he ended up falling, that's kind of all that they were really
Well,
trying to
that's
go for.
Probably it. If they knew it'd leave behind evidence like that, they would have at least tried to do something to cover it up.
Yeah, that's generally how it works. When you do something like this, you try to remove as much of the stuff as you possibly can before anybody else can find it. And that was a pretty big pile of evidence. Getting rid of that wire would kind of completely destroyed everything. Like, how would we have been able to figure out anything at that point? The killer didn't expect the doorknob to come off. The reason that even happened was because... In that case, I shall use my full power. Ooh, wow! With a fierce roar, Nekomaru put all his power into grabbing the doorknob with both hands. But, clatter, clatter, clatter. And yet here it comes, the incredible strength of 1,000,000 horsepower. Goora! It's creaking. If you break off the doorknob, we'll be stuck in here. Oh, it was already weakened. If that's really what it was. And that clue Nekomaru left for us to
I
find.
see. So that's how Nekomaru fell to his death.
I'm gonna give you credit where it's due, Kazuichi. That was a good point, and it was something we needed to clear up.
Do you finally understand now?
Yeah. It appears it's just as Miss Sonia said. I'm just a pest. No, I'm not just a pest. I'm a total fucking pig.
I mean, I'm not going to argue for or against that statement right now. All I will say is that we have other things to deal with before we can deal with your personal problems.
Isn't that right, Miss Sonia? If I'm a fucking pig, you can say so.
Oh my actual god, why? And here I thought we were on the road to some semblance of character development, but no, I guess this is just who Soda is and it's all he'll ever be.
No, I believe you gave your all.
See, now this is just freaking hilarious. There is no winning. She's just doing whatever it is that he doesn't want to have.
Hey, why aren't you teasing me anymore?
Because that's what you wanted, and she doesn't want to give you what you want at any given moment in time. It's actually really clever. She's, Sonia, expert at this sort of thing.
This guy, he gets off on this.
Yeah, well, whether or not he does is not my business in any regard. Let's continue talking about the murder.
So thanks to that alarm, Nekomaru ended up falling while he was still hanging upside down.
Makes sense.
That doesn't mean he just crashed straight into the floor. Of course, you know that too, right?
I don't recall literally anybody even asserting that that was what happened. Doesn't mean Nekomaru crashed straight into the floor. Yeah, no, freaking duh, he landed on the damn pillar.
I see.
Come on, people, why did I have to point that out?
When Nekomaru fell to the floor, he ended up colliding with the pillar. Isn't that it?
No, the pillar just kind of destroyed itself randomly for absolutely no reason.
Finally, the pillar!
There it is, that's what she was looking for.
So that's how the pillar shattered, and why oil was spilled all over the place.
Well, the oil came out of him, that's kind of how that works.
See, I told you the pillar was the weapon. My gut was totally right.
Everybody give a round of applause to Akane's gut. And the rest of her that it is attached to, because it did, in fact, know that.
Well, the pillar was a bonus. It's not even clear if the killer intended that, or if it was just a coincidence.
I mean, you wouldn't have been able to 100% plan for what he ended up landing on, so... Yeah, I mean, he probably would have died if he landed on the floor. As long as he landed head first, I feel like it probably would have done the exact same amount of damage. In fact, he might have ended up destroying the elevator altogether if he ended up hitting the floor. He could have broke through it and messed up something.
At this point, it is quite difficult to find a clue that will lead to the killer.
Then what about the alarm? I'm positive the alarm was set for 7:30 a.m. And if we map it out from there...
Hold on, baby gangsta.
That nickname is apparently sticking.
Stop calling me baby gangsta!
I don't think you're ever gonna get her to stop. You're gonna have to live with it.
What'd you just say? Did you say the alarm was set for 7:30 a.m.?
You didn't check it yourself? Nekomaru's alarm was set for 7:30 a.m.
That it was.
Nah, that's impossible.
Okay, so I guess we're gonna start talking about the time problems.
Because even though I slept in a little, I still got to the tower at 7 in the morning.
That's true. It's true. Hajime, Sonia, and Chiaki should all be able to vouch for that. From our perception, at least.
Now that you mention it, so did I.
Mm-hmm.
There was no way I could be late for Monokuma Tai Chi, so I left for Grape Tower before 7 a.m.
Which means somebody was messing with the damn clocks.
And if we found Nekomaru's body there,
It would have been before the 7:30 a.m. alarm went off.
Yeah.
It appears yet another contradiction has been birthed.
Disgusting terminology, but not inaccurate.
How were you able to discover Nekomaru died at 7:30 a.m. when you went to the tower at 7?
I mean, I guess the clocks must be messable with, because it was the only way we had any way of being able to ascertain what time it was. So, if you messed with all of them, like, there's only 2 clocks, really, and if you messed with both of them, then, yeah, you could have made everybody think it was a different time than when it actually was.
That's what I want to know.
And that's what I'm gonna try and help you figure out. Another mystery I don't understand? Seriously, it's just one after another. It's almost like this is some kind of mystery game. I can't choke up at a time like this. Just a little more and I'll be able to reach the truth. You gotta reach out to the truth, man. There should definitely be a clue of breaking through this contradiction. And that is exactly what we're going to do. Okay, so. Hiko, wall clock, contact alarm, radio. Ah! Yeah. I think I know, but let's see what the other things.
We headed for Grape Tower.
That we did.
Before 7 a.m., I am certain.
From our perspective, I believe
The
so.
alarm inside Nekomaru's chest was set for 7:30 a.m.
That is a fact. We cannot dispute that.
Nekomaru died because of that alarm, right?
It seems to be the case, yes.
His time of death and the time the body was discovered. One of those must be an illusion.
I don't believe so. Wait, yes,
Probably
maybe.
did some tampering.
Yeah.
They probably messed with the clock inside Nekomaru's chest.
Oh.
Gotta be it.
Yep. You can't mess with his radio. It's super duper accurate and doesn't slow down or any of that nonsense. All right. Hate to have to disagree with you, but if it's the way to get through, then that's just what we're gonna have to do.
One of those must be an
Killer probably did some tampering.
That's not how it be.
They probably messed with
There
the
we.
clock inside
Whoa, no, that's the
Nekomaru's
wrong
chest.
button. I'm a complete moron. Aha! Still made it work.
No, that's wrong.
Hell yeah, concentration. By the power of orange juice, I know all.
No, the clock inside his chest was a radio clock, so it would have been impossible to mess with.
But the other clocks, now that's an entirely different story.
So you're saying there's no way the killer could have tampered with the clock?
His clock.
Maybe the clock Miss Sonia saw was the one that got tampered with.
Bada boom.
The clock inside Grape House?
That's much more likely.
No, I checked all the clocks inside the funhouse.
Yeah. So they must have just messed with all of them.
Oh, that's what I asked you to do. So you really listened to me and checked all the clocks.
Yeah. Why wouldn't he have?
And because of that, I can confidently declare that all the clocks had the same time displayed.
Which is interesting because if you set those clocks like you do any of the other clocks, then it's actually kind of impressive that they were able to set them up so that they were so close together that it didn't seem weird or too different.
If there's no possibility that the time was tampered with, then we must doubt that human's testimony.
Okay, I guess so, but also, no, you could. You just have to mess with all of them.
Please believe me, we are not lying.
Then maybe it's a misunderstanding?
Oh, that's gonna make this exceptionally even more sad later, I just realized. Oh, wow. Wow, the game gave me a happy moment that made me realize how much of a sad moment it's going to end up becoming. Crap. These two really are actually liking each other. I mean, Gundam has to like Sonia if he's willing to peel back any degree of the nonsense that he's constantly talking about for the sake of potentially agreeing with her. Oh, that is depressing.
I never misunderstand. I'll crush you into dog food.
I mean, Akane, as much as I like you, you misunderstand a lot of things. This time-related contradiction. I don't think I should doubt the testimonies. I should doubt the clock. There's no mistake that something was done, but what was it? Perhaps we've overlooked something. Maybe we're misunderstanding something. And if I focus and think, I should be able to find the answer. Is this gonna be some snowboarding? It's gonna be some snowboarding! Let's rock! I like these because no matter how bad I do, I can only most definitely end up being successful in the end. No matter how many times I mess up, I know the correct the correct answer will eventually be given to me. Okay, I definitely landed on that. I fell through it, and that is not cool. I disagree with the I disagree. With the results. I do not think that was how it happened. Most rude. All right. Okay. Let's not screw up any more of our cool tricks. We got this. How are we doing this? Question 1. What did Hajime and the others misunderstand? Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Oh yeah. Okay, there we go. We haven't figured out who the killer is, and we didn't misunderstand where the killing happened. I mean, I guess sort of, kind of, but not really. Not as much as that one. There we go. All right, oh boy, okay. Almost made too sharp of a turn there. My skills are legendary! Oh, hey, I was doing that to show off. Turns out I actually had to do it. Never mind. Wow, would have been cool if I could have showed off. I never get a chance to actually do that and feel good about it. All right, question 2. Which clock had been tampered with? No, the radio clock, the building. Okay, my bad. I was gonna go with both because I thought both clocks that are in the funhouse, but that's why you gotta read all of the answers carefully, people. Nekomaru's clock was not messed with because I don't think you coulda, even if you tried. Hutta! 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 Man, I wish I could do tricks. Oh, Nelly! Yeah, there we go. Hutta! Hutta! Okay, I'm actually really starting to enjoy this particular mini game. It's probably my favorite one out of all of them. All right, which house had the wrong time? That is what I thought. Okay, yep. Both houses, definitely. All you had to do was tamper with every clock in the funhouse, and then it would look like none of them had been tampered with. Easy peasy, a lemon squeezy. So what you gotta say about that, people?
It's all coming together.
Hell yeah. Feeling pretty good. That's not something that's common for me.
You said you checked all the clocks inside the building. Isn't that right, Fuyuhiko?
And I do not doubt or say that you're incorrect.
Yeah, none of the clocks had the wrong time.
Unless all of them had the wrong time, then how would you know?
All those clocks have been messed with.
Yeah.
All the clocks?
All of them!
Even if you checked all the clocks inside the building, there's no way you'd have noticed it.
I see. So the killer messed with the time inside the whole building by changing all the clocks.
That would make the most sense. I mean, personally, that's what I feel anyway.
So that's what it was. There's no way I would have noticed that.
I mean, it's possible you could have after you realized that, hey, whoa, Nekomaru's clock is all wrong. What's up with that? And then thought about it enough. But you would have needed a reason to even think about it in the first place. So, no blame given.
This is truly fantastic.
I was gonna ask in what way, but then I remembered I don't care what you think.
Now's not the time to be pleased. More importantly, how much was the time off?
That I don't actually know. Like, maybe an hour? She's right. That's the main problem. I need to clarify by how much time was off after the killer messed with those clocks. Okay, that's definitely the next mystery. I'm gonna reach the truth in one go. Oh boy, here we go. So how would I be able to... Oh, no, man, I already know exactly what I gotta do. It almost always puts me on the first bullet. Makes it a little easy, but all right, I know what happened.
If the time in the building was all messed up,
And it was.
then we can only rely on Nekomaru's radio clock.
No, we can rely on something else.
Time of death. It's clearly 7:30 a.m.
Okay, I don't think I refute that. Yeah, no, that's definitely the case.
In our time.
I know the answer. Give me the thing to shoot.
Are there any clues that can be used to narrow that down?
Yes, there definitely is.
If only I heard the sound when you fell.
You wouldn't have,
That
though.
would have been a great clue.
But somebody did.
Or you scream.
Yeah, that would have been nice, but nobody did. Come on.
Not the type to let out a scream.
Okay, fair.
Only Nekomaru's alarm was loud enough. I
Uh-huh.
would have heard it too.
Okay, but come on. What am I...
No point in saying that.
Come on.
If does not exist in this world.
Okay, I guess one of those things is what I am supposed to agree with. Okay. How much did the killer adjust the time? All right. Well, obviously, I just have to...
If the time in the building
I just
was
don't know
all
which one to
messed up,
shoot. Which one do I shoot?
Then we can only rely on Nekomaru's radio.
They're perfect twins. How do I tell?
Time of death. It's clearly 7:30 a.m.
Okay.
The problem is, what time would 7:30 be? In our time.
Akane knows. I just need to point that out.
Are there any clues that can be used to narrow that down?
Yes, there is.
If only I heard the sound.
Oh,
when you
okay.
fell.
Yeah. Okay. You didn't, but Akane did. There we go. That's what I forgot. I was supposed to be agreeing with someone and not contradicting them.
That's right. We should have heard the sound he made when he fell. Wasn't it that rumbling noise?
This is the absolute most crucial piece of all. Was I right in remembering that the deluxe rooms had soundproof walls? If so, what everybody says is going to be super important.
Rumbling?
Rumbling. You wouldn't know it, Sonia.
I thought it was
Was that the sound from when Nekomaru fell?
I mean, I'm just guesstimating, but assuming Nekomaru was at like about 800 pounds, I mean, the sound of something that big and heavy slamming into a giant stone pillar that then broke and then fell to a crumpled heap on the floor, that would make a really loud rumble.
Well, a huge body fell from the 4th floor to the 1st, and the pillar fell with it.
Hajime gets it.
It's obvious we hear the impact sound.
We heard that noise too.
You and Fuyuhiko definitely did.
It was when we were gathered at the Strawberry House Lounge.
Yep. Okay, so basically, the people who should know this, and that makes sense for them to know it, would be Hajime, Akane, Soda, and Fuyuhiko. They would have all definitely heard it. Are you about to mention that you didn't hear it?
What is it, Sonia?
He is concerned!
Oh, well. That sound everyone heard? I did not hear it at all.
Yeah, yep, that stands to reason. So now we have to ask, the other people in the deluxe rooms, Chiaki, Gundam, and Nagito, did you hear it?
Huh?
You probably didn't hear it because you were sleeping.
No, we were all sleeping. It woke us up.
I could not sleep at all. I was awake the whole night with hunger pains.
Ooh, I've been there.
There's nothing to worry about. What's important is that rumbling noise anyway.
If we use that rumbling sound as a reference, we might be able to figure out how much our time was off.
Akane, you have the concrete deets on that.
I heard that sound probably around 5:30 in the morning.
There you go.
Huh? You can tell?
She's got good instincts. You know what? She ain't got a lot of book smarts, but you know what? She's got that good internal clock.
I instantly woke up and left my room. And that's when I saw the clock in the lounge.
I mean that too, but I still felt like complimenting your senses because they've been useful.
Excellent work, Akane.
Hell yeah! If that rumbling sound we heard was at 5:30, well, it's likely that I guess they were probably tampered with by 2 hours.
I see.
That all makes sense to me.
Nekomaru's alarm went off at 7:30, and if we heard the sound of his impact at 5:30, that means our time was off by 2 hours.
That's plenty of time to do a lot of nefarious stuff.
2 hours? That much?
Man, we all got some bonus sleep.
We were starving pretty badly. There's no way we would have noticed.
We were all in kind of a delirious haze, weren't we?
Plus, the funhouse has no windows. And there weren't any Monokuma announcements either.
Yeah, all we had to go off of were the clocks.
However, for what reason did the killer alter our perception of time?
That, admittedly, is a bit more fair.
The reason is obvious. So they can lure out just Nekomaru.
Damn it, Nagito, that's a great-ass point. We all had to focus and only use the clocks in order to figure out what time it was, but Nekomaru didn't. He had an internal one. He knew what time it was all the time. So he went down at the appropriate, the appropriate time slot when nobody else did. Lure out only Nekomaru?
If you messed with the clocks and used a specific thing, you definitely get Nekomaru to the tower alone, right?
Aggravatingly, he is completely correct.
From there, the killer's plan was a splendid success. That's all it means.
Besides messing with the time, the killer also used a specific thing. If they were trying to lure only Nekomaru, then that specific thing is... Well, I guess would be the fact that we had to be at Monokuma Taichi at a specific time.
I see.
Yeah, there we go. Not bad at all, brain.
That's it. The killer made use of the Monokuma Taichi activity in the morning.
Yee!
How did they use it?
We were required to go to Great Tower every morning at 7 a.m. for that activity, right?
Yeah.
But if they mess with all the clocks inside the building, what would that do to us?
Make us miss it.
We wouldn't be able to attend on time, but that wouldn't affect Nekomaru. This radio clock had the exact time.
Man, that is diabolical.
That's right. In doing so, the killer was able to lure him to the tower by himself at the precise time.
And when I witnessed Nekomaru early in the morning...
That wasn't him doing anything suspicious or out of line. That was just him going down to the Great Tower for what we all were supposed to do.
If I recall, you witnessed Nekomaru around 5 a.m.
But what actually you saw was him going around at 7.
And if that time was also 2 hours off, it should have been 7 a.m. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
All stands to reason. Also, as it just mirrors the perspective in on this picture are kind of odd, and all of the doors look really short.
At that time, he was heading over to Monokuma Taichi, right on schedule.
I see. Now that I think about it, I realize what Monokuma meant when he said those words.
didn't even ask you yet.
Also, I don't think I had really planned on asking him anything. I felt like just confirming what he already said. How outrageous, I didn't expect everyone to ditch Monokuma Tai Chi. But it turned out like this after all, so I guess Gampy helped.
When you said everyone, you were including us, right?
Yeah, that's generally what everyone means.
We thought we came to the tower on time, but in truth, it was way past the meeting time.
Aw, jeez. That's, well, how should I put it?
Completely correct?
What was it? You know, tripping over a foot, or something like that.
Just, why do you have to have everything be such a weird hodgepodge of nonsense? Just say it straight.
Are you talking about tripping over someone else's fault?
Wrong! Too bad!
It really doesn't matter what he meant.
Liar! I'm right!
That's not it! It's incorrect!
That's definitely the correct answer. You always get so stubborn like this.
I'm really not in the mood for a comedy routine right now.
Let's just ignore the peanut gallery.
Sigh.
Now that we've found out how the killer lured Nekomaru,
I really need this game to stop making me agree with this asshole.
the number of suspects has drastically decreased.
By an extraordinarily large degree. I guess he probably figured it out too.
Hey, why would that decrease the number of suspects? Don't be a friggin' liar.
I wish he was, but he's actually onto something.
You'll know I'm not lying when you listen to what Fuyuhiko's going to say next.
What are you pulling out some kind of weird JoJo reference? Your next line will be yada yada.
Huh? What the hell do you mean?
That was a pretty great noise. Huh? Assuming that he's doing what I'm doing.
Nekomaru going toward the tower. Did something else happen after that?
Okay, yeah. He is definitely going down. Okay, then I'm right. This is, there was soundproofing in the deluxe rooms. This whole entire thing makes sense now.
Are you talking about that alarm?
Yes, indeed.
Alarm?
Alarm!
A little while after I witnessed Nekomaru, the clock in the Strawberry House lounge started going off. Plus, it was just before that rumbling sound occurred. That's it. So that's what it is.
Fuyu knows what's going down.
If Nekomaru died when the rumble happened, then whoever doesn't have an alibi at the time is the prime suspect.
Really? Was there anyone who didn't have an alibi at that time?
Well, that's, I don't think that's quite on the money. It's really close though.
Remember now.
What do you remember, Soda?
Bolting from my room. There was one guy who never left the lounge.
Okay, I see where we're going with this, but man, as much as I wish it was Nagito, it ain't Nagito.
It's pretty weird that bastard never came out of his guest room.
Which means that person does not have an alibi for when Nekomaru fell?
No, they don't, but...
Who's the bastard?
Okay, but guys, actually, hang on. It's whoever doesn't have an alibi for that time, right? Oh, they... You really... Okay. Okay. I mean, but... I want it to be, but it's not. God, it would be so much easier and better for everyone involved if it was him, but it's not.
You're the only one!
No, he doesn't, but...
The one who wasn't there. It's you, right, Nagito?
But it's the fact that... It's the fact that the person who did it does have an alibi that's suspicious. Seriously, it's just like... It's not just like, but it's kind of like last time. The existence of an alibi makes no sense. But until I can actually manage to prove the thing that I know, I can't actually say that.
That's right. Nagito wasn't there. It was just me, Gundam, and Fuyuhiko.
You didn't come out, even though the alarm was going off like crazy.
Yeah, but he actually had a legitimately good reason. Come on, guys, come on.
You weren't in your room, were you?
No, he probably actually was. For once, I don't think he did any... I mean, technically, he hasn't actually done anything wrong, except for the time when he almost tried to murder somebody. Everything after that is mostly just him being really creepy and aggressive.
If that's the case, where were you?
Now he's not even talking, so he's just gonna drag this whole thing out, even though he's not the one who did it. Come on!
Please, say something.
Oh, boy.
If you don't hurry up and answer, I'm gonna suicide dive you!
I don't... Okay, that's not exactly what that sounds like, but also I still don't want you to do it.
If I may be frank,
I mean, I thought you were Nagito, but if you must. All right, Frank, go for it.
Even if I wanted to go to the lounge, I couldn't.
All right, I'm interested. Why?
You couldn't? What do you mean?
You couldn't go to the lounge?
It's merely the foolish talk of babies.
Gundam, please.
Not only did I not hear the alarm, I never even heard that rumbling sound.
Yeah. He couldn't. Oh, that's why. Okay, I got you.
You're definitely fucking lying.
On any other day, at any other time, I would agree with you completely.
However, that is also true for me.
And seriously, Chiaki and Gundam, you guys would also be able to say the same thing.
It is obvious that I did not hear the alarm in Strawberry House.
Seriously.
But I did not hear the rumbling sound either. Is that not strange? I mean, everyone else heard it.
Except for Chiaki. Now is definitely the time to chime in.
To be honest, it's not just them. The same goes for me too.
Boom. Huh?
I was in a pretty deep sleep, so I thought that's why I couldn't hear it. But it wasn't that. I probably couldn't hear it at all.
And there you have it.
Couldn't hear it? What does that mean?
Now is an absolutely fantastically wonderful time to chime in about the fact that you also definitely didn't hear it, Gundam. But then again, even if you did, that wouldn't work because you were out of your room. Oh no.
You still don't know.
No, boy.
Think about what the three of us who didn't hear a sound have in common, and I'm sure you'll figure it out.
The only people who didn't hear the rumbling noise were Nagito, Sonia, and Chiaki. Okay. Yeah. The secret is what these three have in common. 4, but the fact... Oh, we're gonna get into that. Could this also be the secret that points to the killer? It is! I didn't want it to be so badly. Oh, and I gotta do the... This game is torturing me in every conceivable way. Alright, that should be... Yeah, okay. I know what that's gonna end up being. Alright, hang on. Speed it up. There it is. Okay. All right, guys, it's time for everything to get incredibly sad.
Nagito, Sonia, and Chiaki. The three of you were staying in deluxe rooms, right?
That they were.
If I recall, the deluxe rooms are...
And finally, at long last, even though it's obvious at this point, I can finally get that reconfirmation. The guest rooms are divided up by quality grade. The deluxe room is soundproof and has excellent air insulation. Standard rooms have so-so insulation, but it's still pretty decent, and the crummy rooms have severe airflow and draft problems. Oh boy.
The reason we could not hear the rumbling noise.
That's right. It was because the deluxe rooms have superior sound insulation.
Oh no.
You actually noticed that. Nice catch, Hajime. Are you using your ultimate reserve course student talent?
No, but I'm about to unlock my ultimate punching people in the face talent if you keep talking.
Now then, you guys must understand by now, right? The true identity of Nekomaru's killer.
And part of me wonders if I was supposed to have realized this as soon as I did, because the instant that whole situation unfolded. I guess the fact that the deluxe rooms were soundproofed were supposed to go over my head at some point, because ultimately it kind of made the whole thing obvious in the end. The only thing stopping me from going whole hog on it was the fact that I didn't want to believe it.
Hold on a sec. Why does that lead to who the killer is?
Why? Well, that fact just now is a very important clue, and a decisive factor in identifying the killer.
It is, sadly. Frank is correct.
Decisive factor?
Hajime, come on. Somehow I feel like I understand what Nagito means. The killer among us. The killer who murdered Nekomaru. Oh. I knew the risks when I decided I would ultimately just choose characters to become friends with and hope for the best. Well, the only solace I can take in this is that if it's for the reason that I think it is, It was a good reason. I mean, I can't say it's a good reason, a noble reason, an honorable reason. I don't know. Whatever term you want to use. It shouldn't have happened, and it sucks, and I'm not happy that they did it, but they did it. You're the only one.
You're the only one!
Here we go.
Gundam, there's something I want to ask you.
Your silence is certainly saying a lot.
When the alarm rang at the Strawberry House Lounge, you rushed over there too, right?
Why'd you do it? You had a deluxe room.
What's wrong with that?
Ordinarily nothing.
If the bell of catastrophe rings throughout the night, it is the universe's providence to stop it.
Why were you able to hear it?
There it is.
Hear what?
The ringing.
I mean, you were also staying in a deluxe room, right? Nagito was staying in a deluxe room in the same house on the same floor, and he couldn't even hear it. So why were you able to hear that alarm?
Now that you mention it...
Kazuichi, I'm going to have to ask for a very sincere favor from you and not take any joy or solace in this revelation, please. If you don't, I'm going to make an honest-to-God promise to you, Kazuichi. If you don't go that route, and in fact, do not get happy about the fact that it's Gundam that did this and ultimately he's going to end up having to go away, then I will, in fact, be willing to call you a good character. I'll say it up front. But if you go down that path, I make no promises.
Gundam?
And here it all comes.
There is only one possibility. You weren't in your room at the time. That's why, even though you were staying in a deluxe room, you still went to the lounge. Am I right?
Gundam, you have some sort of explanation, right?
I legitimately hope you do, but I don't think anybody else is even possible.
Gundam probably couldn't return to his room because of Fuyuhiko.
Me?
Because you were just sitting around and he would have had to walk past the lobby. Oh, no.
After you saw Nekomaru heading to the tower, you stayed at the lounge for a while. Am I correct?
Wow. Fuyuhiko randomly deciding to just chill in the lounge is the only reason we could have completely sussed this out. That's absolutely absurd. Everything was planned out and detailed so freakishly well. The only thing that ultimately ended up going wrong was something that he had no control over whatsoever.
Until the moment that alarm started ringing, right? If you were in the lounge for that long, the killer who had left earlier obviously wouldn't be able to go back.
Even though Mekamaru's murder was a death trap that utilized the alarm in his chest, the killer still needed to prepare the murder in advance.
Like putting Nekomaru in sleep mode and tying him up with the wire.
It all makes sense.
In order to do that, the killer needed to be waiting for Nekomaru at the tower.
So he would have had gotten up way earlier.
Which means when Fuyuhiko witnessed Nekomaru, the killer was already at the tower.
And once they tried to go back, they couldn't because Fuyuhiko was at the lounge.
They would have noticed and would have asked, what you doing running around out here at this hour? And you're not even defending yourself. I'm not okay with that.
In their original planning, the killer should have returned to their room before the alarm in the lounge went off. And they were supposed to stay in their room. They weren't planning to come out and go to the lounge.
But they had no choice. Oh my god, this is actually almost a completely bulletproof murder plan.
Which means they wouldn't have heard the alarm or the rumbling sound, thus proving they were in the room.
And that explains everything because man, if Gundam had planned all of this out so detailed and intricately, why would he have made such an obvious mistake of, well, the rooms are soundproofed, I shouldn't have been able to hear any of that? That explains it.
Just like us.
The best case scenario would have been if those two in the lounge had gone to check the deluxe rooms. After all, if they personally saw the killer sleeping in their room, it gives the killer a stronger alibi.
That it does.
Unfortunately, they failed to secure that alibi.
By pure dumb chance.
I was in the lounge.
Yeah.
So the killer couldn't go back to their room, and ended up hearing the lounge's alarm.
Then again, conceivably, I don't know, once Fuyu and Soda were fumbling with it, couldn't he have snuck by? I mean, they were pretty distracted. And I suppose it doesn't matter, but still.
Why'd you come out? You should have hid till the excitement died down. If Gundam tried to hide, and if those two went to his room to check on him, he would have been found out.
That's true. Yeah, because he just wouldn't have... Oh, damn, yeah. Wow.
That would have been the worst possible outcome. That's why he couldn't just stay hidden.
Oh, he just kind of hoped that, well, that's just going to have to work, I guess.
If those two had just checked the deluxe rooms as planned, that would have been ideal, but how ironic. The moment Fuyuhiko set foot in the lounge, your plan was doomed.
And you didn't even know that he would have done that. And you're still not defending yourself.
Gundam? Please, can you at least say something?
Answer me this, including myself in my 4 dark devas of destruction. How many ears do we possess?
10. Are you implying you heard the noise because of your hamsters? Because as good as hearing as I'm sure hamsters probably have in comparison to human hearing, unless you had them running around outside the whole time, and I don't think you'd do that, I'm not buying it.
The answer is 10. That's right, I possess 10 ears. That means I have 5 times the hearing of a normal human. The soundproof system here may as well not exist.
I feel as if that's actually pretty weak defense.
Is that your argument?
Yeah, I don't think anyone's gonna buy that.
You bastard. Do you understand the situation you're in right now?
Do not panic. The truth shall now commence.
Gundam, no. I don't want to see you falter.
At the time, I left my room to go to the bathroom. By coincidence, I heard the alarm.
Uh-huh.
That's right. That's all it was. The world is always so simple.
That... Oh my god.
Are you saying it was just a coincidence? Isn't that timing a little too perfect?
I mean, sure, okay, it's not 100% impossible, it's just... You need a better explanation than that.
And yet, I'm being suspected by all of you. It seems it was actually horrible timing on my part.
I see. You're still holding out. Well, you don't have to admit it. We're going to decide who the killer is with the majority vote anyway. So, why don't we just go ahead and start voting? It's obvious that Gundam is the killer.
It sure seems that way, although there's a small part of me that's hoping the fact that you're so brazenly saying all of that makes me think that maybe he wasn't.
Hold on a sec. You know, Hajime...
No, I don't want to know, okay? So maybe stop talking.
This class trial, this killing, it's merely the opening act, you know.
Actually, I believe we're past the midpoint.
Hey! What do you mean the class trial is just the opening act?
Please, continue to agitate Monokuma. I would like to see what happens.
Perhaps I should say, it's just a farce?
I'd tell you to stop talking, but I know it wouldn't work, so just get it out of your system and then we can move on.
Just a boring farce. So boring, so stressful. I'm so painfully bored that I might develop stomach ulcers.
Sounds like a personal problem.
Seriously. Let's just hurry up and finish this before I collapse from poor health.
You okay, but once again, I gotta look around the room and wonder, does anybody care? No? Well, yeah, that's kind of what I figured, so maybe shut up.
Nagito, something definitely happened to you, didn't it?
Oh, Gadoy.
At some point during the investigation, your behavior became even weirder.
And that is an extraordinarily crazy thing to be able to say, let's be real.
What actually happened? Did you discover something?
Clearly. He's not gonna say it.
Well, let's just leave that fun for later. And finish this opening act already.
You said opening act again!
That he did. Hey, maybe you could do something about it. That's within your power. Sure, go for it.
Please hold on. We have yet to hear Gundam's rebuttal.
Sonia, I'm gonna desperately ask you to not make this harder than it needs to be, because it's already monumentally hard. Phrasing.
But he's completely shut up. Perhaps he can't argue anymore.
Gundam!
I was simply at a loss for words after being dumbfounded by your pathetic assumption.
Is it conceivable the only reason he's bothering to defend himself at all at this point is because Sonia is asking him to? Because that's incredibly sad.
In fact, I shall deny the very basis. Your assumption has been wrong since the beginning.
Okay, I'm willing to be wrong. I'm okay with it.
Since the beginning?
Based on your assumption, I hung Nekomaru from the 4th floor of the tower and made the floor descend to the 1st floor.
Yeah.
From there, after returning to Strawberry House, I was present when the alarm at the lounge went off, correct?
That would be our general synopsis, yes.
Although going to and fro is busy enough as it is, how would I be able to travel between both houses anyway?
Oh, no.
I see. The contact elevator was broken.
Yeah, but...
As I recall, the killer tampered with the Grape House control panel, which shut down the elevator.
Yeah, but...
Plus, the stopped elevator should have been facing the Grape House side.
Yeah, but...
If so, the human who used the elevator would have left it at Grape House.
Yeah, but...
For these reasons, it's an indisputable fact that the killer destroyed the elevator at Grape House.
Oh.
And what's wrong with that?
If the elevator was broken at Grape House, he wouldn't be able to return to Strawberry House.
It's a pretty good argument, I'm not going to lie, but no, I know how it works. Especially now that I know how the whole funhouse works, it actually all makes sense.
However, I was already at Strawberry House. I was present when the alarm in the lounge started ringing. Which means your assumption is clearly wrong.
Not unless I knew of a way you could actually possibly that you could do it. Man, I'm flustered for an entirely different reason. I just don't want to condemn him.
Are you serious? And here I thought it's already been decided.
Just give me some time.
Have you learned your lesson, pitiful humans? You cannot overcome this contradiction.
I think I can. That's wrong. When something is obviously wrong, that's when a contradiction is born. There's no such thing as a contradiction that can't be overcome. I've played a lot of games that prove that. Alright, so then it should be goodnight button, the account, wall clock, contact elevator, contact alarm, radio clock, broken doorknob. None of those things are what I think I need. So either I'm doing this incorrectly or I gotta do something else.
That elevator was
I'm listening.
the only means of travel between the two houses.
No, I don't think it was.
As long as that elevator was broken, your assumption collapses.
Plus, the elevator was
Come on, somebody help me out here.
broken at Grape House.
I need help, people.
If the killer cannot return to Strawberry House...
Since I was at Strawberry House at that time,
I need something, people.
there's no question that the following crime is impossible.
It would have been different if they had an accomplice.
I don't think that's the
There
case.
was a secret passageway.
Yep, that's what I'm looking for.
To lecture me. Why don't we stop this already?
I'd just like to point out for the record, before I do this, well, first of all, I want to say that I'm not happy about doing this. I'm just trying to find as many silver linings as I conceivably can. And at the beginning of this trial, Akane said she would be the one who ultimately figured this all out. And while maybe not in the way that she wanted or expected, it's ultimately her idea that's going to make this entire thing obvious. And I feel like that had to have been intentional.
That elevator was
All right, here we go.
the only means of travel between the two.
No, that's wrong.
It really wasn't. You had a special way.
No, there should have been another way to move between the two houses without the elevator.
Yep.
Such a method does not exist.
Except it does, Gundam.
Then why don't we ask the person who actually used that method?
Oh, really? Okay. Your random appearing act. I feel like that probably isn't a part of this.
Nagito, you should know.
Actually, he had his name changed to Frank. We should probably respect that choice.
What are you talking about?
Oh my god.
Don't play dumb. You appeared so suddenly that one time because you used that method, right?
I didn't think anything of it at the time, but now that after I learned about how the whole building is just one big thing, yeah. That hatch didn't lead to a damn basement.
There's a secret passage connecting the first floor of Strawberry House to the third floor of Grape House. Isn't that right?
Just confirm it.
Jeez. Once again, I let the reserve course show up.
Yeah, well, there you go. Maybe you shouldn't have done that, but you did, so confirm my assumption.
But you're right. There's a door on the floor of the Octagon, which is on the first floor of Strawberry House. After I opened the door and went down... surprise, surprise! I ended up in the Monokuma Archive, which is on the third floor of Grape House.
Meaning the third floor and the fourth floor are actually connected.
Yeah.
Plus,
Yeah.
once you've cleared the final dead room once, you can pass through it as many times as you want.
So, you would also need to know how the structure of the buildings in order to have been able to do any of this stuff. And you would have also been able to get all of the tools necessary to have accomplished what was done at the Octagon. So, yeah.
If they used that secret passage, they could have gone between the two houses as much as they wanted.
Infinity Unlimited Flame!
Okay, well, that's not 100% what I was expecting.
However, what if the killer was unaware of the existence of the final dead room?
Impossible, because you... okay, there was like a couple things you had to have gotten from it.
There's no way they didn't know.
Actually impossible.
That is merely an illusion you have fabricated from your own suspicion.
No, I'm sorry, but it's actually grounded in fact.
If you value your life, you should stop with your scrutiny.
It's because I value life that I have to keep going.
There's no way I can stop.
Did you say?
Gundam, do you think I take any measure of enjoyment out of this? I assure you I don't. I think you're really freaking awesome. Easily top 3 characters that I have had the honor of talking to and working with in this game. I never wanted to see this exact thing happen, but it did, and I gotta do it. So I'm sorry.
Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Yeah, okay, well, as badass as a Gundam Hulk sounds, I'm gonna have to keep pushing the buttons. Okay, clearly there's something here. Yeah, okay, unless there's something else. Nope, it's the wire. There you go. How else would you have it?
Even if the turbid box doesn't exist, you could travel through multiple planes.
These are hard to hit.
Use a spacious wormhole. However, how frail I say.
These are not easy to hit.
Shall I feed you to the progeny of vile deities?
Well, how am I supposed to? Whoa! No, stupid goddamn buttons. This argument is exhausting. Just listening to it makes it tired. They're in weird positions. I can only swing the sword in so many directions. Okay, fine.
Even if the turbid box doesn't exist,
There we go. Like,
you could travel through multiple planes,
okay, like that.
provided you use a spacious wormhole.
All of this is not actual things, my dude.
Your decayed illusion. Shall I feed you to the progeny of vile deities?
No, you shan't and you won't.
I can't back down.
There we go. Okay. Sword fighting.
I already proved the secret passage exists. The secret passage was at the Octagon.
Know the limits of your own reasoning.
Yeah.
You say the killer went to the Octagon.
Yes.
Don't bark, you cur.
I have to.
If you don't want to drown in the maelstrom of
Is
blood,
this what I have to hit?
Allow me to cut through those words.
Yes, it is. I just kind of swung randomly at that one.
The wire used to string up Nekomaru's body.
How'd you get it?
The hammer that looked like the weapon. and the chain on the door in the tower.
Impossible. If your argument is the killer could have never gone to the octagon, that's clearly wrong.
Those are all the items that weren't in Funhouse. Where did the killer obtain them?
The only place I can think of is the octagon.
I mean, nobody else saw it, but when I was playing as Nagito, I did see pretty much that stuff.
There were various weapons and tools there. I'm pretty sure I saw stuff like wires, hammers, and chains too.
Since those items were used in the crime, there's no doubt that the killer went to the octagon.
I'm sorry, Gundam. I legitimately believe you did it for the best possible reasons, but you still did it.
If that's the case, they obviously know about the secret passage too, right?
He's not really able to defend himself here. Oh god, I just realized if he goes, what happens to his hamsters?
It seems this is the end.
Oh no.
Normally, we'd end up listening to Hajime lecture us with a very long summary of the case. But there's no reason to waste any more time on this opening act. So I'm going to end this right now.
Yeah, sorry, Frank, but you don't have the authority on that.
Hey, what are you... First of all, by messing with all the clocks in the building, Gundam tried to lure only Nekomaru. The elevator was probably broken.
He's taking my thing!
Thanks to that,
I'm also not progressing the dialogue, it's doing it on its own.
Which was supposed to be the meetup point. So he tried going over to Strawberry Tower, just like we did when we found out the elevator was broken. Well, it's obvious he'd attempt that. At that time, we didn't know the two towers were the exact same place. Also, the button in Strawberry Hall wasn't broken, so he was easily able to enter Strawberry Tower. But surprise! Gundam was waiting for Nekomaru's arrival.
Well, hold on. If Nekomaru didn't go to Strawberry Tower, what would the killer have done then?
I don't know. Try again later?
Their plan was a balancing act of uncertainties. But even if they failed, they probably wouldn't have minded. They can just greet everyone the next morning as if nothing happened, and come up with a different plan.
I mean, that would have been a real pain, but yeah.
And without such a risky plan, they wouldn't have been able to lure him at all.
I'm going to continue summarizing the case, okay?
I'd really rather not have to hear you.
Through this, Gundam successfully lured Nekomaru to Strawberry Tower. There's no way he could fight head-on with the robotic Nekomaru. So by pressing the goodnight button, he rendered Nekomaru powerless without fighting him.
Huh?
Hold on! You... What did you just say? That I didn't battle?
I think you might have hit a button, dude.
What's wrong with that?
Don't mess with me!
Holy crap.
Don't mess with me! I cannot ignore those words!
You were able to ignore literally everything else but that?
Why are you angry all of a sudden?
You fools do not understand! You don't understand at all!
Then help me understand.
Ha! You make me laugh! After all this time, you still don't understand anything at all!
I don't understand anything. What does that mean?
I'm listening, Gundam.
It appears I cannot finish just yet. Maybe I'm just a human destined for hell. However, I cannot finish just yet. I cannot finish!
Am I to take it that you're admitting that you did it, but you're really not okay with the idea that you didn't fight?
What do you intend to do?
It's obvious! I'm going to destroy your illusory assumptions!
Are you saying you still have more? You still have room to argue?
I don't think you do.
Your words. You said I pressed Nekomaru's goodnight button.
I mean, I didn't.
However, that button was on the back of Nekomaru's neck. To press it, I'd have to get behind him.
Yeah.
It's not easy to get the drop on Coach Nekomaru.
I'm not saying that it is, but if he didn't suspect that Gundam would have done it, then I don't think he would have had any problems with him being behind him in general.
It's even more difficult if it's a one-on-one situation.
Just as I thought, truly frail. Succumbing so easily to this simple argument, it was just a mere illusion. If you want to set me up as the killer, at least surpass your own human limitation.
Again, you say that like I want to do this. It's not want, it's have. I don't have a choice.
That's wrong, Gundam. You're the one who's wrong.
Such a wonderful line. However, I cannot say that I'm satisfied.
Well, what do I gotta do that?
Listen well. I shall teach you 2 tips for making someone admit their defeat.
Okay.
First, you must crush them with your own overwhelming power. And as for the other, you must provide a reason that will persuade that human. You have not fulfilled either of those yet.
Okay, so if the final argument you're making is, how did you do it? I think I know the answer to that, too. And just as you requested, I will provide an argument that'll leave you no choice but to be persuaded. I am the least happy about this. Okay, here we go.
I won't let you! For the Tanaka Empire! Wither! Crushed as David prophesied! I won't let you! For the Tanaka Empire!
Just trying to do what I need to do.
Wither! Crushed as David prophesied!
There we go, there we go.
Show me the cadaver!
I can't do any combos, but
I won't let you!
I can at least
For the Tanaka Empire!
do better.
Wither! Crushed as David prophesied!
Gundam, I'm not happy about this, damn it.
Empire! Wither! Crushed as David prophesied! For the Tanaka Empire!
Oh no.
I won't let you! For the Tanaka Empire!
Oh boy.
Wither! Crushed as David...
How did I do that? Okay.
Nekomaru's back. Do you really think I can get behind it?
The Davis Dark Fort. No, that's not what I wanted at all. Ugh. I'm sorry for getting their names wrong. The least I can do is be respectful about it. Damn it. The 4 Dark Devas. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Even if you didn't get behind Nekomaru, you should have been able to press the button on the back of his neck. As long as you have the power of the hamsters you keep with you.
Come on, man. At least call them what they are. The 4 Dark Devas of Destruction.
Are you seriously saying he used his hamsters to press the button on the back of Nekomaru's neck?
I'm saying he used the 4 Dark Devas is what I'm saying. And if you're trying to tell me that he couldn't, well, you're not right, because he's very obviously very well trained, those hamsters. So come on now.
Of course it'd be impossible for a normal hamster, but it would have been possible for Gundams.
We saw him teach them stuff.
In fact, we saw that with our very own eyes, right?
In fact, that's an extraordinarily convenient thing that they actually decided to show us. Gotta set this stuff up. Using a hamster to push a button. That was so unnecessary.
Now that you mention it, after Ibuki was killed in the music venue,
Oh, that's true. Okay, so he has used them before for things like this.
one of Gundam's hamsters retrieved a piece of wallpaper from the baton lighting. Right?
Ridiculously well trained. Didn't even know you could train a hamster. Can't really argue that, can you?
Hey, with your friends and their exceptionally smart brains, it must have been possible to secretly get one of them behind Nekomaru and press the button on the back of his neck.
How about it, Gundam?
I'm not sure how to interpret that.
Not just myself, but you actually brought up how splendid my subordinates are.
I mean, they really are. I can't argue that.
I have no recourse but to admit it.
Admit it? Did you say you admit it?
I'm sorry, Sonia.
It appears I've obtained a one-way ticket to hell. Fine! Then you must trample me underfoot and in fact.
I don't want to do that.
Victory can only be built upon a foundation of corpses. You cannot find peace without sacrifice anywhere.
Okay. Okay, you know what? I'll give you that. I'm willing to respect the hell out of you, out of your way out the door, okay? I'll give you what you want.
Now, trample this light. Trample it as though it were mere trash on the side of the road.
I'm not as dedicated to your terminology as you are. This is not easy.
Pull the curtain strings of this worthless performance with your own two hands.
Oh. Be strong. Be strong. I can do this. Okay, so. Setting it all up. Who set the clock's alarm? Alarm set. Okay, that could conceivably have been it. Let's see, gets up. What time did Fuyuhiko see him? I don't think we got that. Who was in the lounge since early morning? We don't have that one. He goes. Wow, that's an incredible... Even the hamsters are all dramatic. That is impressive. Using them like freaking bullets, that's impressive. Okay. Wrapping the wire. The killer... I believe... Oh, okay, I didn't that thing just say the killer destroyed... Oh, destroyed what? I'm stupid. All right, what was the fake weapon? Okay, maybe read these things through all the way. All right, we know that one's a fake. Then, here's the thing. We gathered at the lounge. Not looking for that. Why did he fall? Don't really have an answer to that. Who heard the rumbling noise? Ah, that would be that. There you go. Okay, so that means it's ultimately this. Wouldn't be that. Let's just zoom our way on over to there. He didn't break the thing. Wrapping around the leg. Nekomaru's weakness. Then I guess this would end up having to be here. Yeah, there we go, because it's showing both of them. Makes sense. All right, then I know for a fact where this one goes. Just have to get it to the right place. Like so. Okay, alarm set. I'm not entirely sure about that one, but we don't need that. They did what to Nekomaru's alarm in Nekomaru's chest? Oh, yeah, I guess, yeah, they would have had to have set the alarm. Okay. But I don't think that... Oh, wait, no, it's right there. Okay, so that's not something we need to worry about. Then it must have been that. I just need to find... Or maybe it's this. Yes, that is what it is. Okay, okay. Oh, but no, this one is still a thing that needs to be done. Oh, what a pile of butts that entire thing is. Okay. Then it needs to be somewhere. The weakness, no. The wire wrapped around his leg, that's not where that would go. It would go here? Yes, it would go right there. All right, there it is, there it is, there it is. Okay, we've almost got this. Okay, and I've already got that. So the weakness, button on his neck. Then, let's see here, messing with the base. Destroyed what? After leaving the tower? It would be that. There we go. All right, last ones, last ones. Then it would be tying it to that, like so. And then, is there one that's super duper far back over here? It's all about trying to remember which ones are actually necessary. Maybe? Doesn't seem like anything else. Yeah, there we go.
Here's everything that happened in this case.
I can only take so much joy in that. Here we go.
Let's first go over the many tricks the killer prepared before they committed the crime.
And let's be real, there's like 50.
First, they destroyed the contact elevator. This separated Nagito and the others in Strawberry House from our group in Grape House. Next, they lured Nekomaru out by himself by turning back all the clocks in the funhouse by 2 hours. Additionally, in order to secure an alibi, the killer went to the Strawberry House
I don't really think I'm gonna have a whole lot to say.
and set the wall clock's alarm to 5:30 a.m. After finishing their preparations, the killer went to Strawberry Tower with the necessary tools in hand. They obtained these tools from the Octagon, which you can enter once you clear the final deck.
Which implies that Gundam not only solved all those puzzles, but also played Russian roulette. Even assuming he did the absolute easiest possible difficulty out of it, that's still incredibly ballsy.
This means the killer discovered the secret of the funhouse faster than anybody
I
else.
always I kind of don't like the fact that the naked gray man used to represent the killers in these situations always makes them look insanely malicious, no matter what the character's actual character is.
That secret being, Strawberry House and Grape House are actually the same building.
I sincerely doubt Gundam took this much reverence in everything he did about this.
On the morning of the incident, Nekomaru woke up and headed over to Great Tower for a specific reason. There, Fuyuhiko, who was at the lounge by coincidence, witnessed Nekomaru.
And that's all it took.
According to Fuyuhiko's testimony, that was around 5 a.m. But by that point, the killer had already messed with our perception of time. In actuality, Fuyuhiko witnessed Nekomaru at 7 a.m. That's also the same time Monokuma Taichi begins. Nekomaru went to Great Tower to participate in that.
Because he is a good lad.
However, because the contact elevator was broken, Nekomaru was unable to go to Great Tower. So he decided to try going to Strawberry Tower. But the killer was waiting for him there.
With his projectile devas. Seriously, the fact that even they look all spooky is just absolutely absurd.
Back of Nekomaru's neck. This forced him to enter sleep mode, rendering him immobile.
Don't give the damn hamsters dark demon eyes.
From there, the killer began preparing to use the ultimate weapon. First, they set the alarm in Nekomaru's chest to 7:30 a.m. so he'd wake up. Then they tied him up with a metal wire, tied the tip of the wire into a loop, and hung it on the doorknob. After leaving Strawberry Tower, the killer then destroyed the door button to Strawberry Hall. They did this to keep us from entering Strawberry Tower.
Seriously, every base was covered.
And to keep us from discovering the secret of the building's structure that they used to kill Nekomaru. Then, they used the secret octagon passageway to travel to Grape House. After arriving at Grape Hall, they pressed the button to open the door to the tower. When that happened, the elevator-like floor of the tower began descending.
Thus, making him dangle.
And Nekomaru's body was still inside, dangling upside down in midair from the wire. The killer entered Grape Tower to see if their setup was successful. And placed a hammer on the floor to look like the weapon, then wrapped a chain around the back door. This was done to make us falsely believe we couldn't enter the tower from Strawberry.
Now, here's something I can actually tell. Yeah, or I can actually just say, just for reference. In your face, Frank. I still got to do my summarization. You can't stop me. I don't do what you tell me.
With this, the killer finished their setup and tried to go back to their room using the secret passage, so they could craft their alibi when Nekomaru died from the fall. But something unexpected happened. Fuyuhiko, who saw Nekomaru earlier, was still at the lounge. As a result, the killer couldn't return to their room, and with no options available, time ran out. The lounge's wall clock alarm started ringing at 5:30. Well, to avoid a worst-case scenario, the killer was forced to appear in front of Fuyuhiko with the others.
My finger slipped on that one.
When the wall clock's alarm rang, that was also the same time Nekomaru was waking up.
If only he didn't thrash so much.
He woke up while he was still hanging upside down, so he couldn't help but sway his body powerfully. Originally, the loop of wire was only supposed to slip off the doorknob.
Yeah, it turns out that went a little too well.
but because there was a heavier load than expected, the doorknob ended up breaking.
Oh, God.
Nekomaru fell from the 4th floor all the way to the 1st floor.
Man, I don't care if he was a robot now. That's still gotta hurt.
He crashed into the pillar, which decapitated him on impact. And the sound of Nekomaru's impact echoed throughout the funhouse. However, by this point, the killer's plan was about to fail, thanks to the broken doorknob and Fuyuhiko. Meaning, the killer is someone who wouldn't have heard the alarm if they were in the deluxe room. They also wouldn't have been able to return to their guest room, because Fuyuhiko was at the lounge. That someone is Gundam Tanaka. I can't think of anyone else but you.
As much as I don't want it to be the case, it's the undeniable truth.
That was splendid. For a mere human, you did quite well.
Thank you.
Stop. Stop it already. Stop using weird words to avoid the truth. Or I'll friggin' kill you myself!
Akane, please, I understand, but please no.
I cannot believe it. I just cannot believe. You killed Nekomaru? I cannot believe something like that.
You don't wish to forgive me? Do you feel regret? Then finish it! Cast your impure vote for Gundam Tanaka! My beloved, deadly foes, let the voting time begin!
I just don't understand how much of it is an act and how much of it is earnest. I don't know. I felt like I knew him better, but I can't say for sure. All things considered, I actually did better than I thought I would have. All right, everybody, let's rip this Band-Aid off.
This result isn't all that exciting.
Then it's an extra victory for us.
Now then, please pull the lever in front of you and cast your vote.
Seriously, anything that he considers a bad thing, I consider a good thing.
Who will be chosen as the blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one?
No matter what you say, or what he says, I don't know if he'll actually straight up admit it, but I can only imagine the only conceivable reason why he would have done any of this is just for the sake of getting everybody else out. Then again, at the same time, if that were the case, then wouldn't he have actually just confessed? Why make us go through the trial and be so freakishly, I don't know, determined to hide it? When I think about it from that perspective...
Please pull the lever! Crap! I bit my tongue at the most important part!
Good. I hope it fell off. And whatever the reason, I just want this to pass. Just get it done with. Oh, now I have to read the dialogue too. Yeah, it'd be bad if I bit my tongue again, so I'll speak slowly. Judging from the results, you guys were correct once again. Getting 4 in a row without any mistakes is a splendid achievement. That's right, the one who killed the robotic Nekomaru in the amazing funhouse was Gundam Tanaka.
Nice!
Yay, I said it all without biting my tongue.
Now then.
Now that we've decided who the killer is, let's do the execution already and get this over with. Shut up, Frank. Hold on. It's true the class trial is finished, but that doesn't mean the incident is over. We can't finish yet until we hear it from Gundam.
Jeez.
Don't care. Shut up. You don't care about anything you have to say. Well, I have no right to stop you either, so do whatever you like.
Oh, my tears.
Why do you want... No, gotta do this right. Why do you want to talk to one who has lost? The loser merely leaves, it would just be unnecessary for me to say something.
Listen well.
Is what I would like to say, but for honor's sake I shall correct one thing. Correct? You guys said I made Nekomaru powerless without fighting him. That, however, is a great mistake. Huh?
Fine.
Nekomaru did fight. That is no mistake. And because he fought, he lost and died.
Damn it!
Lost and died?
This, too, must be the will of causality.
If he was just trying to cling to life, there are many ways he could have done so. However, he did not allow that.
You.
What do you mean? Explain. Fine then. Then I shall reveal it all.
Let's make history.
Within the final dead room, I discovered the secret of the funhouse. And I devised a killing plan utilizing that secret. By tampering with all the clocks in the building, I succeeded in luring Nekomaru to the tower. And this is what happened. Nekomaru and I were alone in the tower, standing face to face with one another. I should say I expected as much from Nekomaru. He sensed my subtle killing intent and instantly understood the situation. And we had ourselves a stare down. In that situation, if he wanted to run away, it would have been easy for him to do so. He could have run away, or even called for help. But he did not turn his back to me. Instead, he chose a fight that risked life and death.
That is...
A fight that risked life and death?
Let me tell you this.
He was serious too. He gave it his all to try to kill me. If I had died instead, the mystery surrounding the case would have been even more complicated. You would never know why I, the victim, went to the tower by myself.
I can see it!
Nobody would know that the victim, me, was actually the one who planned the whole thing.
Could it be?
Nekomaru really did that?
Sensing even my subtle killing intent, as expected of you, Nekomaru.
The scorching, stinging, tense atmosphere. I've been a team manager for so long, I'd nearly forgotten this. This is great! What a comforting atmosphere!
That's a very thing.
And what is your reason? Do you intend to resolve this situation by killing me?
I am the Warlock, Gundam Tanaka. Heroes, Lords of Darkness, and even the gods themselves flee from me. I need not cling to any trivial reason. I'm simply going to kill you because your very existence is an annoyance.
I sincerely refuse to believe that.
You'll drench your soul with evil until the bitter end, huh? Splendid!
And I don't think Nekomaru believed it either.
In response to your spirit, I shall kill you with all of my might. I won't go easy on you. Don't even think about holding back.
It sounds to me like they did this... It's almost like these two felt like they were the only ones who could possibly be the ones that do this.
Don't waste your breath on cowardly tactics. Give me everything you got.
Nekomaru need I. Your blood will drench the foundation of my empire.
That is...
Why? Why did you fight? We are all friends. Why couldn't you stop this? Even if both sides agreed, it was still wrong. I will not argue. I have no intention of forcing my values upon you.
Let me tell you this.
However, I must say this. What's the point of living if you're just waiting until you finally die?
You weakling!
There's nothing courageous about that. That is abandonment! A mere feeling of resignation! You're telling us to just wait until we starve to death? I'd rather have that happen to us than have our friends kill each other. Do you mean that you'd rather die?
Fall, my tears.
Ever since we were locked inside that building, everyone had been dominated by that feeling of abandonment. However, nothing is born from resignation. That is simply a reason to give up.
If you flinch, you will die.
Giving up on life, that's just an insult to life itself.
Let me ask.
Have you fools heard the term dog eat dog? Cannibalism? No, Chiaki.
Fine.
In zoology, cannibalism is a commonly observed phenomenon. Many creatures at some point in their lifespan engage in cannibalism.
Listen well.
That is what it means to live. If you say killing for the sake of living is evil, then what would you call giving up on life itself?
I shall engulf this world.
If a world would consider that justice, then I will fight that world with every last fiber of my being. Giving up on life and choosing death is nothing but a blasphemy toward life.
I renounce you.
It is a violation of the natural order. It is the arrogance of humanity.
You.
Are you saying all that to try to justify what you did?
But...
It sounds like Nekomaru felt the same too. That's why they fought, right?
Damn it.
It seemed to be a completely consensual agreement.
Fine.
That man had the courage to die when he needed to die. That is why he challenged me to our battle. Regardless, as I've already said, I do not intend to force my values upon you fools. It's such an interesting combination when I think about it. Gundam and Nekomaru agreed that someone had to die in order to make this all go away. But Gundam's personal values also meant that he couldn't have just admitted it and let himself die, because that would be giving up on life, and it would go against his entire moral values, his code, his way of living. So he still fought anyway. I think I understand. It doesn't make this any less tragic or upsetting, but I think I understand. I have betrayed you all. That is the absolute truth.
Fall, my tears.
But even so, don't you think it's a better alternative to slowly starving to death here?
Oh,
That belief is why you committed your crime.
you...
Hey, what about the final dead room? Did you do that Russian roulette too?
Let's make history.
Unlike Nagito, I only did it once, but... compared to my battle with Nekomaru, that was mere child's play. That I honestly believe.
Well...
You know, after you listening to you talk for a while, I'm starting to think that, well, it's also because you unexpectedly admitted your crime without much resistance. Gundam, don't tell me, you didn't sacrifice yourself for our sake, did you? If he did, he's definitely not going to admit it. I can't believe you would ask such a foolish question.
My name is Gundam Tanaka.
I am history's greatest monster. My cursed existence is feared by all mankind. There's no way I'd sacrifice myself for the sake of you fools.
Fade like dust in the wind.
Not in a million. Not in a billion. Not in 10 billion years. In the name of pandemonium, it is impossible. Is that it? Then I'll just leave it at that. Now then, let us be rid of this foolish talk. It's about time the fun started. Monokuma, let us begin!
Yes, indeed.
He's not even remotely afraid. I have prepared a special punishment for the ultimate breeder, Gundam Tanaka.
Please wait.
This is just too much. Please, Monokuma, please help Gundam. Sonia, you know as well as anyone he'll never do that.
Huh?
Miss Sonia.
I beg of you.
Oh, that's not helping.
How
Sonia. An act as unrefined as stopping a man from going to his death does not befit a noble such as yourself. He respects her. Gundam! It's fine to start for reals, right?
Fine.
Yes, I do not mind. However...
What is it, my 4 dark devas of destruction?
Oh, don't you even.
Are you worried about me? Oh, my feared 4 dark devas of destruction. That is not like you at all.
And it's coming out. God damn it, I was holding it so well.
However, there is no need to fear. In this world, I am only a temporary visitor. I was simply visiting for a moment, and now that my duty is complete, I must return to the darkness.
Nobody wants you to go.
That is why, until the very end, pride, conceit, courage, insolence, fearful of nothing, daunted by nothing. Let us laugh uproariously! That is Gundam Tanaka! I shall stick with my evil until the very end!
God damn. Say what you want. The dude went out like a complete badass.
Open sesame pandemonium! I shall fill hell with true hell!
Let's give it everything we've got! It's punishment time!
Just get it done with. Just get it done with. Goodbye, Gundam. I'm really gonna miss you. Not the hamsters. He protected them. For everything he said. For everything he wanted us to believe. I was right. Gundam Tanaka was a good person. And he went out on his own terms. It doesn't make it any easier. But at least I understand. No. Even after Gundam is gone, the spirit of his parting words still lingered deep in our chests. Don't give up on life. Did I misunderstand what he meant? I think he was just trying to say it in the only way he knew how. No, God, I'm a complete leaky mess. Stupid. Ugh. What's the right thing to do? I don't know. No matter how much I think about it, I don't know if I'll ever be able to answer that.
Damn it.
Yeah. I'm so pissed off. I need to throw something.
Damn it!
We all spent so much time worrying about each other, and thanks to that, things ended up like this. Akane, no. Please, Akane, I don't want to lose you, too. I really can't take that. Akane, no. No, you're not.
The worst.
You're not weak. Even if you feel like you are, I promise you're not.
Oh.
It's such a downer, clearly. But still, even though we feel this way, we still gotta do our best.
You are right.
This time around, we must move forward. We must continue to live and believe in our friends. If not,
You are right.
Gundam will most likely crawl his way out of hell, and I presume he will be very cross with us. You're right. You're right. We shouldn't just stand here. I mean, it's not like this is over. We still have to do it. We still have to finish this. For the sake of our friends who have died, we need to finish this once and for all. So, don't just stand there. Stand up and walk. Move forward. Live. If you don't, everyone who fought and died will have died in vain. We can't allow that.
Hey!
Die in a fire, you goddamn bear. The class trial is over, so it's okay for you to hurry back over to Jabberwock Island. However, the skilling tools... The bullcrap nonsense I subject people to because I'm a sadist, it continues.
Wait!
How much longer are you going to keep doing this? Until we can figure out how to stop him. How long is he gonna keep doing this? How long is this going to continue?
Now then.
Can't trick me, Akane. I know how you work.
Hey, hey!
Hold on a sec. That mood shift is too damn fast.
It's not like
Well,
that.
you know, it's like Gundam and Nekomaru said. That's what it means to live, right? Oh god, don't cry. You know, at the start of all of this, Akane said that she'd never forgive who did it. I think that says a lot, that she does. She's certainly something else. Seriously, I'm starving.
Hey, hey.
Let's go back for now and eat. And then after we're full, let's sleep as much as we want.
Right?
And then, let's do our best again. You're right. Maybe it feels like that didn't hit as hard as some of the other ones did, but I assure you, it's a different kind of pain. I think the only reason I'm not turned into a complete and utter sobbing wreck is because of the things Gundam said and how he went out the way he wanted. The size of our group has definitely diminished. But despite that, even if it was just the rest of us, we did our best to stay upbeat and have fun together. Of course, our optimism was only superficial. But at that moment, we were able to forget about the dark despair looming before us. However, the only thing I was worried about was him. He wasn't there. He suddenly disappeared from our sight. Nagito. The hell are you planning? Yep, I'm definitely lucky. I never expected to obtain so many valuable things from a simple game of Russian roulette. Thanks to that, I was able to learn the identity of our true enemy. And before everyone else, too. But it's just too funny. I mean, no one could tell that I was lying. There's no way that file had just Hajime's information.
Well,
I guess they were too busy with other matters. Or maybe they've reached their limit. Regardless, I was saved. Things would get complicated if they found out. Anyway, I can't forgive this.
Damn it.
This should never be forgiven. There's no way I can let this run loose. I'll be the one who stops this once and for all. Even if it costs me my life.
It's obvious.
For the sake of hope, I cannot ignore this. I don't know what the flying hell is going on right there,
Monokuma appears!
but I don't like it. Monokuma has arrived. Who summoned me?
Now then.
Thanks for coming.
What's this?
Why, it's the lonely little Nagito. Are you all alone tonight too? So what's up? Your face looks scary, as opposed to any other moment in time. I see. So you can tell. Oh, perhaps you found out who the traitor is? You know me well,
Wow.
is what I'd like to say, but unfortunately, I haven't learned that yet. I see. So even you don't know, huh? Looks like the final showdown is gonna take a little more time.
Hello.
So, why'd you summon me anyway? Were you finally going to confess your love? That would be a really weird moment, wouldn't it? I summoned you because there's something I really need to ask you. It's about the special prize from the final dead room. Oh yeah, what about it? There was information about 16 people in the file I received. But isn't that weird?
You don't
What's
even
weird?
know?
Well, there's a traitor from the Future Foundation hiding among us, right? Including that person, the total number of students should be 16, right?
Isn't that right?
But the file contained documents that were created at Hope Speak Academy, right? That's right, I just reused that stuff the former headmaster spent a lot of time making. If this file even contains information about the traitor, was that person also a former student of Hope Speak Academy?
Who knows?
I wonder,
Hey,
could it be? Is this your doing? Did you slip false information into the file? Were you trying to keep us from learning the traitor's identity by obtaining this information? What's wrong with that? If it's my job to heat things up, it's okay if I do something small like that, right?
well,
That's not my point. My
Right.
point is, you already know who the traitor is. What's wrong with that?
You're getting all riled
Well,
up.
you're splendidly correct when you say I knew who the traitor was all along. But even though I know who it is, why do you think I ignored it on purpose? It's just like Monami after losing her magic stick. The traitor's existence means absolutely nothing to me. Their existence means nothing, huh?
No.
Well, that's just how I feel. I'm sure you guys feel somewhat different. After all, that person is the evil Future Foundation lackey who's putting you guys through this awful stuff. No, that's most definitely you, Monokuma. I know for a fact it's you. That's not entirely true. I didn't really come here to fight or anything like that. Instead, I came here to offer my cooperation, you know? Cooperation?
hey,
Your purpose is to fill everyone on this island with despair, right? That's why you intentionally letting the traitor do as they please, right?
Yep.
Yup.
I...
If that's the case, I might be able to cooperate somewhat too.
right?
However, in exchange, I want to know who the traitor is. I see, interesting. Very interesting. Would Monokuma even take an offer like that?
No.
Obviously, that's a big no-no. I mean,
being
I want to make everyone in your group feel despair. That includes you too. Well, I knew you'd say that. Besides, I just wouldn't be able to handle the sadness when you inevitably betray me later on. Just as I thought, you saw right through me.
You're
No matter what situation I find myself in, my core way of thinking will never change. In order to create absolute hope that shines brightly, stepladders such as myself in despair exist. You're right. You're a true believer of hope after all. I must say, that belief reminds me of that person for some reason.
Huh?
Reminds you? I don't know who you're talking about, but if someone as worthless as me reminds you of some other person, they must be extremely unlucky. In a manner of speaking, I suppose they were. But you're just as unlucky, right? I mean, the fact that you're even involved in something like this. Am I? I actually think I'm very lucky.
Say what?
You don't
Wouldn't you
know?
say that coming across this much despair is a rather rare opportunity? I can't rely on anyone on this island. That's why I have to be the one who does it. If I can eliminate despair from this island, I won't be a stepladder anymore. I'll become true hope. I'm gonna stop you right there, Chief. There was a significantly better man out there who already claimed that title. And you might kind of look like him. You might sound like him. And upon further examination, I think your name might actually be a freaking anagram of his? Hang on. Holy crap! Okay, well that's a little on the nose, but also badass at the same time. Not even gonna lie. Props to you, writers. My point still stands. Those may all be the case. But you are never gonna be anywhere close to the type of guy Makoto Naegi was. So you better stop even thinking you can. The two of you are alike. You definitely remind me of him.
Hey,
There's one more thing I want to ask you. Who are you waiting for on this island? Looks like I'm right again. You're definitely waiting for someone on this island. Is the person you're waiting for already on this island? Well, answer my question. If that's the case, if that person is already on this island, wouldn't that be exciting? Depends on your definition. How much time do we even have left? The last few times I hadn't even bothered looking. Not a lot. The answer is not a lot. Goodbye, Nekumaru and Gundam. I won't forget you. I'll treasure it. I'll see you all next time.